Have you ever looked at a river and seen more than just water? I mean, have you seen the flow of history, the current of human destiny? Down in the cradle of civilization, a great river is shrinking. The mighty Euphrates, a name that echoes through millennia, is receding. As its waters pull back, they reveal secrets long buried beneath the silt and sand. People are whispering. They speak of strange sounds coming from the riverbed, groans from the earth itself. Ancient structures, once submerged, are now emerging into the harsh light of day. Are these just the natural consequences of drought and climate change? Or is something else stirring? The stories are spreading like wildfire across the internet. Videos show vast, newly exposed caverns that seem to be carved by more than just water. Local accounts passed down through generations speak of legends of beings trapped deep below the river's flow. They say these groans and moans are not the shifting of rock but the stirring of something ancient, something that was imprisoned. We are a species driven by curiosity, always looking for meaning in the unexplained. We map the stars, we decode our own DNA. But what do we do when the earth beneath our feet begins to speak in a language we have long forgotten? Modern science offers us logical explanations. Tectonic plates shift, water tables fall, causing the ground to settle. Gases trapped underground can escape, creating strange noises. These are rational, provable phenomena. Yet, the human mind is not always satisfied with simple logic, especially when these events seem to echo prophecies made thousands of years ago. We are pattern-seeking creatures. We connect the dots, even when the dots are separated by centuries of time. Is it so unbelievable to wonder if there is a deeper design at play here? A story unfolding just as it was foretold? So, we must ask the question. As we watch the Euphrates exhale its ancient secrets, what are we really witnessing? Is it merely a geological event, a stark reminder of our planet's changing climate? Or are we standing at the edge of a revelation, a turning point in our collective story? What do you hear when you listen to the silence of a dying river? The name Euphrates is not just a geographical marker. For billions of people, it is a key that unlocks some of the most profound and honestly terrifying prophecies ever written. In the book of Revelation, the final book of the Christian Bible, a chilling scene is described. The sixth angel pours out his bowl, and the great river Euphrates is dried up. The purpose? To prepare the way for the kings of the east. This event is a critical step, a domino falling that leads directly to the final battle between good and evil, Armageddon. Is it any wonder that a receding river now captures the world's attention? But this is not the only tradition that holds the river in such high esteem. Islamic eschatology also speaks of the Euphrates in the context of the end times. Prophecies attributed to the Prophet Muhammad warn that the hour will not come until the river dries up to reveal a mountain of gold. A mountain for which people will fight and kill, with 99 out of every 100 perishing in the conflict. Think about that. A prophecy of a great treasure that brings not wealth, but unparalleled destruction. Are the strange findings and economic desperation in the region a prelude to this? And then there is the legend of the four angels. Revelation also speaks of four angels bound at the great river Euphrates. They have been held in waiting for a specific hour, day, month, and year. When they are released, they will command a demonic army of 200 million, sent to slay a third of mankind. For centuries, this was a metaphor, a symbolic story. But as the river shrinks and strange groans are reported from its depths, the story takes on a new, more literal, and far more terrifying dimension. Could these be the very beings spoken of in the legends? We are faced with a profound mystery. The river is shrinking. The prophecies are clear. It is easy, perhaps too easy, to connect these dots and declare that the end is nigh. But what if the signs are not what they appear to be? What if the true test is not in recognizing the signs, but in understanding their purpose? Many religious traditions warn of a great deception in the final days, a period where falsehoods will be so convincing, so powerful, that they could deceive even the most faithful. Could this be what we are witnessing? Let's consider this possibility. Imagine a world gripped by fear and uncertainty, a world where a natural event, amplified by the internet and global communication, is interpreted as a supernatural harbinger of doom. In such a world, people would be desperate for answers, for saviors, for anyone who claims to have a solution. Is it possible that the signs themselves are the beginning of the deception, designed to sow panic and make humanity vulnerable to manipulation? The prophecies of a mountain of gold, for instance, could be a metaphor for a resource so valuable it drives humanity to madness and self-destruction. In our time, what could that be? Oil? Data? Geopolitical power? Perhaps the treasure is not literal gold, but the strategic control of a region that has been a crossroads of empires for all of recorded history. The fight may not be with swords, but with economic sanctions, cyber warfare, and propaganda. A modern battle for an ancient prize. This pushes us to a more difficult question. If the events at the Euphrates are a sign, what are they a sign of? Are they a literal countdown to Armageddon? Or are they a warning about our own nature? A sign that we are susceptible to fear, that we can be easily misled, and that our own conflicts could bring about the very destruction we read about in prophecy. The true danger, then, might not be angels being unbound from a riverbed, but the demons of our own making, unleashed by our interpretation of events. Are we looking at the end of the world, or are we looking at a reflection of ourselves? To understand the end, we often look to the beginning of the prophecies. Before the visions of Revelation, Jesus himself was asked by his disciples, "What will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?" His answer, recorded in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 23, and more directly in chapter 24, is, well, complex and layered. He speaks not of a single event, but of a pattern of events. He warns of wars and rumors of wars, of nations rising against nations, of famines and earthquakes. But he says something crucial. All these are but the beginning of the birth pains. Interestingly, when Jesus delivers his most direct prophecy about the end, he focuses on Jerusalem, not the Euphrates. He speaks of the destruction of the temple, a cataclysmic event for his people. In Matthew 23, he laments over the city, "Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who kill the prophets and stone those sent to you. Look, your house is left to you desolate." Many scholars see this as a prophecy that was fulfilled in 70 AD when the Roman armies destroyed the city and its temple. This raises a critical point. Are all end times prophecies about the absolute end of the world, or are they about the end of a particular era or civilization? Jesus' warnings in Matthew focus heavily on human behavior. He warns against being deceived by false messiahs and false prophets who will perform great signs and wonders. This echoes our earlier question about a great deception. His primary instruction is not to decipher timelines or pinpoint locations on a map. His instruction is to keep watch, to be ready, because the end will come at an hour no one expects. The emphasis is on spiritual preparedness and moral endurance, not on decoding geological events in Mesopotamia. So how does this connect to the Euphrates? Perhaps the signs Jesus spoke of are not a checklist where we tick off river drying up. Maybe, just maybe, they are more like a diagnosis of the human condition. The conflicts, the deceptions, the environmental crises like a dying river. These are symptoms of a world in turmoil. They are the birth pains. We find ourselves at a crossroads of ancient belief and modern reality. The Euphrates River, a lifeline for civilizations, is weakening. As it does, it seems to give voice to prophecies that have slept for 2,000 years. We've explored the chilling predictions from Christian traditions and Islamic traditions. We've seen how these ancient words resonate with a world connected by instant information and shared anxiety. The evidence is compelling. The stage seems to be set. But we've also introduced a healthy dose of skepticism. We've asked if we are interpreting these signs correctly. Could the greatest prophecy be the one that warns us about being deceived by signs and wonders? Jesus' own words guide us toward a different kind of watchfulness. The truth is, no one can give you the final answer. The mystery of the Euphrates is not a puzzle with a single solution. It's a mirror. What we see in its receding waters reflects our deepest hopes, our most profound fears, and our eternal quest for meaning in a complex and often chaotic universe. To believe the end is here is an act of faith. To dismiss it as mere geology is also an act of faith. Faith in our own understanding. Both positions require us to choose what we believe. So the journey does not end here. It begins. The question is not simply whether the prophecies are true. The real question is, what do we do now? How do we live in a world where such powerful signs are manifest? Do we fall into fear and panic? Or do we use this as an opportunity to ask bigger questions about who we are and where we are going? The Euphrates continues to shrink. The world continues to watch. The countdown may have begun, or it may be a grand illusion. The only certainty is that the story is far from over, and you are a part of it.